Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is the Paddock podcast. It was, wasn't it?
Wasn't ready.
No, didn't seem like anyone was. My name's Joe. This is Stephen Howson. How you doing, Steve?
Super.
Rangnick's confirmed. You happy?
Yeah, we're going to use German words now.
Oh God, this is going to be fun, isn't it?
Nothing bad can come from that.
No.
Hey, that's
and
a great idea.
Jason Mottershead is with us as well. How you doing, Jason?
I'm very, very well.
That's flickering.
Joseph.
We'll fix that.
Hey.
We're going to be going and having a look at Ralf Rangnick's style, exactly what he brings to United. We all know how happy he is.
Thin knit.
He likes the. Do you know? I've realised.
Open neck.
Have you ever been on any sort of like film production or TV production sets?
No.
It's very German, it's like very thin gilets of like duck down jeans and like a trainer. It's all gilet. It's all like very, you know, the micro puffer jackets.
Yeah,
that's all anyone's wearing on film sets.
Really?
And you see like the German managers, and they're all wearing the same thing. I reckon they've copied that.
Do I need to get one of them if I want to make it?
Get yourself a micro down
production,
duck down gilet.
Right, okay.
And you can make it in film production or as a manager.
Right, as well.
Yeah, glasses, obviously.
So for those who don't know, Jason, is it Masters you're doing?
Of course it's
So yeah, so he's doing a Masters. Is it in film production?
Yeah, documentary production,
With
TV, film, and digital media.
With your haircut, I think it's fair to say he needs the massivest, most square, oversized specs.
The Klopp ones.
What was that geezer called? That was on Wayne Rooney Street Striker, the unbelievable Techers guy.
I don't know, but it was good. He had big glasses on.
He needs them glasses.
Get the Klopp ones that he had
what,
before
like that?
He fixed his eyeballs.
Not quite RuPaul. Do Wayne Rooney. Unbelievable.
I was just looking at.
That's the thing. You're going to come in thinking you look like a German football manager, and everyone's just going to call you RuPaul.
Yeah, RuPaul with the ball that looks like. If I get them glasses, I think I could carry that.
Let's
off.
get you a nice colourful waistcoat.
Yeah,
and you'll be all sorted. We're going to be talking about Ralf Rangnick. We'll be talking about what his style is, what he's going to bring to Man United. What?
Thin gilets, like thin.
His coaching style.
Oh, be specific,
style. We're going to be talking a little bit about his sort of. The pillars that he lives by, not just as a footballer, but as a man. No, just as a footballer. The things that need to be focused on when you're managing, the 3 C's, all of these things. You might have heard of them. And now we're gonna get into them. Should we? You like your tactics, don't you, Steve?
It's been said.
You've literally got books upstairs and that.
I mean, yeah.
Got loads of books, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I've got
look at me with my books.
Did a bit of reading. I do a bit of reading.
It's like Finch, innit?
Yeah.
He
You read
reads
a
all
book
the
a
books.
week.
Book a week, yeah.
It's the same book.
Well,
I say book. It's a Chinese takeaway menu book.
Yeah,
it's
he
a book.
reads it.
It's quite big.
It's a book.
Yeah.
Counts as a book.
And he reads it all start to finish.
This week in training, we're following the Diego Simeone method of defending. The lads are going to hate it.
Yeah. Well, instead of that, let's talk about Rangnick, though.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We can talk about Simeone when we unfortunately get Atletico Madrid in the next round of the Champions League. It's going to
happen. We just went through upstairs like who we're likely to get, and we're like,
who's it? There's option. I know obviously there's still one round.
Paris
to go,
is
like
a big option.
PSG, Juve, Inter, Atletico, or all.
He's like at the bottom of the table. Let's get them.
No, that wasn't me. That was Alex.
No. Right.
Anyway, let's talk about Rangnick. We know about this pressing. What's the difference between pressing and counter pressing? Do we know?
I don't think there's that much. I mean, someone's going to give a dictionary definition, but ultimately it's about putting pressure on the ball carrier at the end of the day. And whether it's... So, pressing a team playing out would be pressing, I guess. And then gegenpressing, a.k.a. counter-pressing, a.k.a. hunting football, would be a case of when you've lost the ball, immediately trying to regain possession within 8 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah, so that's the thing. He says about... winning the ball back within 8 seconds of losing it, and then trying to have a shot, obviously leading to a goal, within 10 seconds of that. Most goals are scored within 10 seconds of the ball being won back. And I think it was when he was managing Leipzig, or maybe he was when director of football at Leipzig, but he was saying of the 70-something goals they scored that year, 60 of them came within 10 seconds of winning the ball back. Like, that is very impressive, isn't it? But on the other side of that, because obviously we're all looking at the positives, and I'm not here to try and talk about negatives, is there maybe a bit of a concern that, like, that's all he's got? What does he do when teams sit back, when teams have 30% possession? Or are we just going to force it so that even against Wickham in the Cup, we only have 50% possession and we're counter-attacking them?
You didn't watch the entirety of the videos that I sent you?
Well, I did.
Did you?
Yes.
He literally talks about what do you do when teams sit back against you.
Well, he said you can play the ball over the top and stuff like that. He said it's all about breaking the lines regardless. He did say that.
Is he giving you homework and you haven't done it?
Yeah, I did it. I asked for it.
All right.
And didn't do it.
He
did, but the thing is, he didn't go. No, that wasn't the same. That's not the question I'm asking. He said about a deep press, a deep defense, and he answered that.
Well, the question up against someone with a low block, he said you still have to maintain rhythm. You have to maintain tempo. You've got to play with verticality. That doesn't mean going up. It means move the ball forward. He said
if sometimes that can be over the top. He did say that.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that's all he's got.
No,
the way you framed that made it sound like that was all he's got.
All right.
He says you've got to do surprising things. You've got to shock your opposition. So we already know, obviously. We already know he's not a fan of the back pass. He ain't a fan of that horseshoe of possession. What you'd see, you do see Liverpool do, and you do see Guardiola do quite a lot. And Tuchel, to be fair as well. He ain't a fan of those passes. I think he banned backward and sideways passes in some training sessions at Leipzig and other places that he's been at. I think there'll be a requirement for us to hold more possession at United.
That's what I'm thinking, because you can't never take a backwards pass.
But he's all still about movement ahead of the ball. He's all still about, Pep's got those, the chessboard grid of no more than 2 players in any of these lines going across. Some mad Connect 4 shit that he has going on. Whereas he's the only one that I've ever really heard talk about that. Maybe Cruyff to a certain degree, possibly Bielsa, but I don't quite remember Bielsa articulating it in as many words. But I think that's something that they'll look at. Rangnick's about overloading different zones, getting +1 in the final third. So when you win the ball back, you've got somebody that's free. You've dragged players out of position. When you're coming up against the low block, the one which is this is kind of counter to what my belief on beating a low block is, which is to beat a low block, you need width. Because if you narrow in playing against a low block, it's exactly what they want. They're already narrow anyway. Now we don't even have to move to mark you. What beats low blocks is, you see Manchester City are excellent. I'd say the best team at beating a low block is Manchester City under Guardiola. Where do their wingers stand? Right on the touchline.
And they always do that thing where either the fullback or the winger will have the ball on one side, and then the other winger will make a run behind the defence towards the byline and play it over and then basically on the volley cut it back. Sterling scored that goal the other day. They've scored thousands of them under Pep.
Which is what? It's width.
Yeah.
It's stretching teams out. And one of the major valid criticisms of United under Ole, and United just in the past years because of the lack of a right winger, is we're extremely easy to defend against because we just go down the left-hand side. When it's Mason playing on the right-hand side, don't hold width.
Yeah.
He comes into the D, which means that you've got 30 metres, you can just mark the entire team. And then the one that you're not marking, it was that Wan-Bissaka, don't worry about that. And you just sit where you are, and it's not an issue. When you've got the options that we've got available to ourselves, like you've got Jadon Sancho, make him stand there. Yeah. You stand there, Marcus, you stand there. We'll push Bruno forward, we'll push Ronaldo forward. Now, you've got to put 5 players in that back line, across that back line. Because if you have your entire defence over to here, and this is your widest fullback, if you like, you're going to leave 25 yard, 30 yard to Jadon Sancho? You will not get to Jadon Sancho if he gets that ball.
No.
And that's when this is your widest player and Greenwood's in here because he's in the D, or he's here, he's marked.
Yeah.
When Wan-Bissaka that's here, you go do what he wants anyway. He's not a threat. Jadon Sancho's a threat. When it's Manchester City and this is Riyad Mahrez, and this is Sterling on the left or Jack Grealish on the left, and they're holding their width. You as an opposition, you either pull 6 back or pull 5 back because you can't cover that with a back 4.
No.
And that's what the better teams are doing. That's where the structure that United have lacked a little bit would benefit the team.
Talking about that structure, did you see that interview that Rashford said the other day where he kind of said, after Jose left, Ole kind of went, go out there and enjoy yourselves. And we did enjoy ourselves. And obviously it kind of worked to a certain extent, but not taking it that next level. That is a far cry from Rangnick talking about the five phases of play, or the 5 parts of a match you need to be able to dominate or understand. And I'll read it because obviously it's worth getting the points right. He's saying what you do when you have the ball yourself, which is obviously the sort of 10 seconds of trying to get a shot away. Usually, not always, obviously.
Just raw possession.
Yeah. What do you want to do when the other team has the ball, which is generally pressing, but obviously there has to be phases after that. The transition, the moment you lose the ball, or the moment you gain the ball. So they're the 2 transitions, obviously, when you're winning it or when you're losing it. And the other one, which is a massive one, which you never hear people really talk about, is set pieces. And he says more than 30% of goals come from or originate from a set piece. So obviously not directly from set pieces, but within probably a few seconds of set pieces. That's interesting, isn't it? That something we've been so bad at. And I would say even under Sir Alex, I never considered us a team that was a particular threat from set pieces. Do you, Jay?
No.
Have you ever thought of us as we're going to be great from corners?
I mean, you think of the 99 final, don't you? And when everyone talks about Manchester United and set pieces, obviously because you know two of our most. Do you want to share it with the group?
Yeah, well, I literally brought it out for that reason. So what Joe was talking about through there, he talked about that in a Coach's Voice seminar, one of the videos that I sent him. I literally do my training based on those things, although it's 7 for what we do because there's an extra couple of things in there that I split out for train. So what you do when you have the ball, I call that attacking build-up because that quite often starts deeper rather than when you've just won it on the final third. You need to know, start further back, what we're doing to play out. So I call that attacking build-up. Then I have our organised defence. So attacking build-up, organised defence. That's a bit more about your structure. That's a bit more about your principles. Then we have counter-attacks. That's the sort of thing. What happens when you win the ball here? What happens when you win the ball here? What happens when you're attacking transition, essentially? And then we have defensive transition. What happens when we lose the ball there? That's different to if we lose the ball here. Like, what's the principles of those? And then we have attacking set pieces and defensive set pieces. Even though I'll probably... Okay, he's put them under one thing. I don't train defensive and attacking at the same time. I would focus on one or the other.
Which I'm sure he would as well,
Yeah.
but you're not
But
having
that's the
Maguire
5
and
areas,
Shaw
yeah.
doing all of it, yeah.
And then the final one that we have is fitness. And I try and cover those lot rotating through different sort of things.
So he obviously just having 5 sentences written down and the things he goes over briefly in an hour's conversation isn't what all the players are going to learn. No. But do you think it's fair to say even from that, it feels as though has more of an emphasis on tactics, more of an emphasis on really sort of micromanaging every aspect of the game, rather than, the criticism of Ole is there's little to very little of that.
Well, we had this under Louis.
Is that going to be a problem, though, do you think, that transition? Because it's one thing saying, oh, this is going to be great, we all get to press. But if they've not been taught, not just pressing, because they've pressed before, but not to this degree, not the second, third phases of these things, not all of these, strict, I'm sure almost mathematical versions of each of those sentences. How long is this going to take to implement? And is it going to just be fucked in 6 months when we get someone else in?
He said 8 weeks, which I find tough to believe, especially over the British or English football's winter calendar, because it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
There ain't a lot of time for this. But I think there's a lot of learning that can be done via showing video and Joe, sort of the theory explained behind it. You can still get a lot of take up on that without necessarily having to walk them through every single aspect of this and repeatedly practice it. That comes as well. You can't do it without that. But I think there's a hell of a lot of learning that they can do on travelling to away days. Right, I'm going to show you this today. We're not necessarily looking to implement this today, but we'll talk about this again tomorrow as well. Joe, just sort of building up the knowledge base of the players. Keep showing them the positions that they need to be, in our third, in the middle third, in the final third, with the ball, without the ball, what to do in this circumstance, what to do in that circumstance. Keep talking about it, keep reiterating it. And it will start to sink into them, even if all they're doing is seeing videos of it. Because obviously training time on the ground is going to be limited to an hour a day at most, probably, realistically, on pure tactical work.
Before we move on, we've got something exciting to announce, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Don't me to say it?
Yes, please
say it. We did it last year as well, but the 12 Days of Paddock competition is back. Look at that! Look at that!
Look at that! Beautiful.
It's snowing today. Oh, it's freezing in here.
That's amazing.
Roasting. Can we get the air content down a little bit? We are giving away loads of prizes, one every day for 12 days around Christmas. And the main prize, the final prize...
Look at
PlayStation
that
on the desk, lads. PS5.
Hey.
Look at that. It's heavy, that.
That's decent.
PS5 to give away.
Break,
all you have to do is be a member of the channel. When you remember, you also get extra videos, you get extra content, you get a discount on the merch store. So there's plenty. Don't use the single, obviously.
Can I just have a look at that a minute?
There's loads of stuff that you get anyway, and now all of our members, as a reward, will be entered automatically in the fucking LJ in the 12 Days of Paddock competition. The link is in the comments.
What else
Click
can
on
he
that
win?
to join. They can win all sorts. We've got other stuff that's going to be announced soon, actually.
Yeah.
But you're getting copies of FIFA. You're getting your books. you're getting Deliveroo codes, your vouchers, posters, merch from our merch site. Yeah,
What's that
We're
book
going to
there?
win Old Trafford. We've got Old Trafford,
Old Trafford
here.
as well.
Are we giving away Old Trafford? Can
We're
we
not
do
giving
that?
away Old Trafford.
Are we giving away a Peter Schmeichel book as well?
Yeah, we are.
I've got one of them.
That's
You
the
can
one
have
we're
that.
giving away, Jay.
We're
Giving away Jay's
Trust me,
unopened Peter Schmeichel.
brand
still
new.
in his box
They've not
that they
opened
sent it in.
the cardboard.
I'm not
Trust
reading
me,
that
it's as
fraud book.
pristine
But
as
you can have it.
If we got a version of this that doesn't have the snow on it, that I'm not behind. All you have to do to be entered
I know Andy
is
said I'm on the end
become
now.
a member. Click on the link, click the join button under the video, click the link in the comments. If you're not watching live, click the join button, and every single member will automatically be entered for all the prizes. So as long as you're a member, when the prize is drawn, you are entered. So click the join button, and we'll be doing this all through Christmas. Again, PlayStation 5. You still can't get them.
Oh, we have got an update on that though, the PlayStation 5, and Ellis Mottershead from Eccles has just won that one.
Has he?
Yeah,
well, we're not giving it away yet.
No,
You've
that's
got
mad that he lives in your house, though.
yeah, exactly.
Didn't even know he had access to the
Yeah.
internet.
From
No, he
the
doesn't
26th
really.
of December to the 6th of January, we'll be giving away a different prize every single day leading up to that PlayStation on the final day. Join, become a member, and you will automatically be entered.
Brilliant prizes.
good,
Even
isn't it?
the Peter Schmeichel book, you know, if you're a City fan, it's a really good prize for you. Peter Kelly says, if you read the first page of Soccernomics, it says statistically most goals from corners are from in-swingers. So why do we take out-swingers so much? Should our data analysts know this statistic? Stephen?
Yeah.
There you go. Surish
Interesting.
Afavale.
But is that
sorry.
because most corners that are taken are in swingers? Does it have a comparison? Is it a
It's
percentage?
a comparison of them,
Ah, right,
Is
okay.
it
Yeah,
higher
it just
percentage
says-
of in swingers are scored than out swingers. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
There's also a lot of theory on penalties in Soccernomics.
What's the
It's wordy. I've been trying to fuck about with my goalkeepers to go and stand 1/3 to the side, because it takes a ballsy player to put it where you're stood, and then they really focus on trying to put it in the opposite corner, and I think they fuck it up under the pressure. And your goalkeeper knows it's going the same way. We've done it once and we conceded with it, but
Has no one ever done that
So
before?
the tiniest of sample sizes, and it was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like...
Hang on, wait, let me finish. It's a 77% chance of scoring anyway. That's just penalties.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we save the next one, we're quids in.
Yeah, but that's not enough of a sample size to say you've come up with this new theory, is
I'm
it?
not knocking what you're doing.
Science.
Like, but
We're doing science, Joe.
wouldn't people do this if this was a thing?
No.
Like,
Do you know
you're
why?
inventing
No,
this.
do you know why? And I'm not
Keeps been trying it in training.
I'm not defending Steer because I don't know what happened with that. All I can see on the screen is that
Yeah,
Cam's
Cam
written,
says the guy passed
Passed it into the side. And
so
you look
easily.
a bit silly, wouldn't you, if you're a
Yeah.
keeper and you go, go on then, mate. And you
That's
just
it.
went, yeah, all right.
That's the ballsy part, is getting
Yeah.
the keeper to buy in to look like a right dick.
But here's the thing, though. When you say, if it worked, wouldn't people do it? Do you know free throws in basketball?
Yeah.
And you stood on the line in this.
Is that like the penalty in a basketball?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the equivalent.
Sorry, I'm
but
not.
get-
As you can
but
tell,
there's-
I'm an expert on
There's
American
30 of them a
sports.
game rather than one
Yeah.
every 6 weeks.
Is it that many?
Tons. It depends who's playing. Different teams emphasise winning fouls more.
Okay.
Who anyway? That way is how everyone takes him over the head, like that. Not obviously that's not perfect form, but you know what I mean.
It's good
But
enough.
statistically,
Yeah.
there's a lot of evidence to suggest that underarm,
Yeah.
if you can master that technique, is an easier and more replicable or replicatable movement
Yeah.
that would actually have a higher success rate. And the reason people don't do it is because it's called granny style and it's embarrassing as fuck.
Yeah.
And people don't want to be going, oh, you do it granny style, do you?
So it's just a style.
this
It's just
one's
like.
the
So it's like an embarrassment
Yeah,
and
it's a pride thing.
Yeah, but not pride, and also it's just pride
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit,
just-
and people don't want to be the first one to do it granny style and miss a few.
Well-
but like it's, do you know what I mean? So
I
sometimes
mean, I know you get like Bill Fosbury, for example. You get
Yeah.
people that take a leap
those
forward
who
and
don't
do
know,
something. Yeah, sorry,
literally a
the,
leap
the
forward.
high
Quite
jumper
literally, yeah.
who, you know, high jumpers used to jump feet first. He invented the Fosbury flop where he went back first, and now
Can you imagine the
everyone
shit
does
he'd
that.
have got? Imagine that was now.
Yeah.
With Twitter.
And people
The
going,
abuse
state of
he
this,
would
idiot.
state of this.
Yeah.
Look at him, and then
Game's
he's like
absolutely
smashing.
gone.
Yeah, game's
Just
gone.
kick your legs over it like everyone else, you fucking
and he's
knobhead.
smashing every single
and just
record there is.
destroying it by miles.
So, to
Yeah.
be fair to Steve, I'm not don't mean to, disparage it. It might be you might have cracked it.
But on
and
the
this
other
might
end
be
of the spectrum,
the
just
way-
because
way-
something
way
sounds
forward.
shit doesn't mean it's not. Do you know what I mean? Yes, there are some things that sound bad that are good, but most things that sound shit are shit.
I love the fact
Hey,
the biggest problem is
we were
convincing the
working
goalkeeper to do it, so he doesn't look bad.
To be fair,
Like-
the keeper tried it and bottled it last minute and ran back to the centre. But the whole idea of standing 1/3 in
Yeah.
is that you can set your feet knowing you've got to dive to make that corner, probably.
But haven't you got to like?
Also,
have you got time to wait and see?
You score anyway.
Have you got time to wait if he does go where you're stood?
All you've got to look for is 2 feet placements.
Right.
That's it, really. One,
Yeah.
if it's
Because
pointing
if you
at
jump the other way and he puts it in that, you're gonna look like you're throwing the game.
yeah. If he, as he plants his foot, if it's coming at you, stand still.
Yeah.
And if it points away from you, you're diving.
This could be revolutionary, Stephen, so keep us posted. Suresh Asavale says, no, I'm serious. We will have 9 outfield... We have 9 outfield players for the Gengen press and 1 poacher in CR7. It'll be interesting to see how all players are integrated into the system.
That's the thing. That's another thing. How people like Steve, do you think it's more likely that with better players, more accomplished players, more skillful players than he's ever worked with before, he's more likely to get them playing well? Or do you think there'll be an element of they've won using other styles? Ronaldo didn't need gegenpress when he won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Do you think there might be a sort of, who the fuck are you? I'm not running twice as hard as I've ever ran just because you think you've got a decent CV? Does that worry you at all?
No, because we did a podcast earlier with Rio.
We'll get to Rio in a minute, reacting to things.
Reacting to Ralf Rangnick and Carragher. I'm sure that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Carragher's coming on Monday. He bit like a motherfucker. And he said Ronaldo didn't press when he was good, when he was young, when he was 21.
He wasn't being told to.
Yes, he was, though.
Was he?
Well, the guy who was in the changing room said he was.
Okay, so what? So Fergie went, you've got to do this, and Ronaldo for 5 years went,
well,
no.
He said, he was like, he said, Carrick and Fletch and Owen Hargreaves and everyone knew, you're going to have to work harder because he's not going to.
Yeah, but that's an understanding that Ronaldo won't press. Will Rangnick have that same understanding? Will he say, Bruno...
Well, he had a 34-year-old Raul who wasn't exactly known for running around like a place like Tevez. It's hard to find a lot of... there's not a lot of data kicking around of Ulm from the early 2000s.
McClammer says, in my opinion, Ralph just needs to convince Ronnie that by pressing more, he'll score more goals. CR7 will be running around like a madman.
He doesn't need to press.
Pavan Sukanara, welcome to the Academy. Thanks for joining. You've got a shout now of
one player not pressing.
winning that PlayStation 5 and all the other prizes as well.
And Old Trafford, I think.
You get to win Old Trafford.
That may not be the case.
All right, okay.
But I reckon, yeah.
A picture of it.
Oh, okay, Old Trafford. I don't think he needs to press. It's very simple, right? What are you asking people to press for? You're trying to create a numerical overload. So you're trying to get extra people to where the opposition's got 4, you're trying to put 5. And to do that needs work rate. So you're asking the players to work harder than the opposition, so you've always got that +1, right?
Yeah.
And if they switch, it means the rest of you have got to tear ass and get that +1 over there. What it means is you're going to leave one of their men spare somewhere because there's only an infinite number of players allowed on the pitch at one
and you
time.
only have the same amount of players as them.
So to create numerical overloads with pressing is all about that work rate. Now, why are you creating a numerical overload? It's to mark people, essentially, to take people out of the game, either by limiting the options that the opposition have got when they've got the ball, or to just swarm around them so much that they lose the ball out of sheer numbers around them.
Risky passes, long balls upfield that are a much lower percentage.
Exactly that. So what does Ronaldo need to press for?
Well, he doesn't necessarily have to be the one pressing the ball, the person on the ball. He can be the one covering lanes or covering passing options.
There we go.
And stay within his sort of 10-yard box.
Most teams are going to play with the number 6.
Yeah.
Mark him.
Right, okay.
Just mark him. Or...
If you're Ronnie?
Yeah.
Right.
You mark him, right? Or you say, you mark the left centre-half. So if he goes to the left centre-half, he's not fucking about with a Zimmer frame. He's still pretty rapid. You want to conserve his energy for scoring goals. Like I said earlier, if that ball drops to Ronaldo instead of Fred at the edge of the box, we're sitting here today talking about how we beat Chelsea 2-1.
No.
So,
or if Fred had passed it to Ronaldo.
You tell him to mark someone, and Ronaldo will do it. Ronaldo's a winner. Ronaldo's not known for refusing to do things his managers have asked him to do. You got to know what you're dealing with. You can't ask him to be something he's not, but you can say, right, the lads are going to do this, you're marking that guy, and he'll go, I personally believe he'll go sound.
Don't forget, I mean, I know it's a bit old school, but that's like what Eusebio used to say, didn't he? He used to mark his defender. That's what he used to say. He said, they didn't mark them. That was a big thing for him. Yeah. And he did all right, didn't he, for Portugal?
He was all right.
Maybe Ronaldo's heard of him. AK, welcome to the Academy. Oh, sorry, the first team. Thanks for your support, and you're in with a shout of winning the PlayStation 5. Yes. So there's a few questions here, and I'll get into them. in a press, the centre forward just covers the back passes, Paul Lucas. Matthew Wick says, almost got my fancy 12-month member badge. Get in.
Yes. It's the big boy right there.
It really is.
Sorry, I've just had. I don't even know if I can say what he's watching. Can I say what you do? But I've just had an analyst. Should we just say an analyst? Has just messaged me and just watching a podcast. You defined it well. Pressure from a shape is structured. Counter pressure in transition moment, unstructured. Two different types of pressure. Higher probability to score, create, chance, or get into dangerous possession and regain counter pressure as the opposition will likely be in positional unbalance.
Good stuff. James Marinan says, is Maguire's captaincy in doubt with Rangnick?
Probably not.
I don't think.
I don't think so because they're not changing anything, are they? Phelan, Carrick, McKenna, they're all staying. Which I mean,
I don't know. It seems like it'd be a massive blow to him, obviously losing the captaincy, and I don't know. Would people start feeling sorry for Maguire and think like, what's all this about? And also Bruno had it yesterday, didn't he? And I love Bruno. But that was probably one of his worst games for us.
Would you give it to Ronaldo? Is he the obvious candidate?
Ronaldo is the obvious candidate.
That
might be an interesting move.
Would you do that?
If Rangnick sits down, Rangnick has to get a couple of key personalities on board. If I was walking into that dressing room as Ralf Rangnick today, bratwurst for dinner, and then I'd go and say, right, I want to get Ronaldo on side. I reckon I need to speak to Harry Maguire. So I want to speak to Varane, De Gea, people that have been there around a little bit.
Varane, man, missing him.
And I would probably look at like the likes of Marcus, Jesse, Pogba, as
Bruno.
probably Jesse, Bruno as well, yeah. And I think I'd go into a meeting with them, and I think I would. That would be a real signal of change. And if Ronaldo's like, yeah, I've heard you're all about pressing, I'll do whatever it takes to win the team. I think you going, all right, fuck it, I'm going to give him the armband.
Yeah,
He just said everything I want him to say. That eliminates to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's the one question I've had from people that have been watching the stuff saying, will Ronaldo press? What's this? What does this
that's
mean
why
for
we're
Ronaldo?
talking about.
Yeah, lots of questions about Ronaldo this morning.
Rangnick going, Joe, what? He's my captain. That signals so much. Look, this guy's won it all, and he's willing to do whatever for my team. You could even come out and say that.
Yeah.
I've given him the captaincy because he's the leader of this team. Because let's be honest, he fucking is. If he spits his dummy out, we've got a problem, haven't we?
Yeah.
If Harry Maguire spits his dummy out, all right, cool.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I've always been a big fan of Maguire, and I do like him, and I do think he gets a bit of unfair stick. But last few weeks, I've not been happy with him, so I'm impressed
How
with
long's
him. I
Varane
think
off
he's just
fitness,
been a little bit
Is there any chance of him playing
away
this
with it.
I think he's back in training, isn't he? There's some talk of maybe coming back, but is that not just rushing him back?
We're good at that.
Yeah, we did that last time, didn't we? Andrew Naker says, any Rangnick songs being sung in the pubs yet?
Not that I've heard.
I've not heard any. We'll find out on Thursday night, won't we?
What's the deal with this whole work permit shit? How come it's taken us so long? We do this all the time. We do it with transfers.
Brexit.
I know it's Brexit, but everyone else deals with Brexit. People getting managers in every 2 seconds.
Like, it is a thing, innit? But it's just frustrating because if he's not in there, dug out for Thursday, which is looking unlikely, it's just a waste, really, of a game. Do you know what I mean? I know Carrick could win, and he got a good, decent result against Chelsea, and it's no point in being, sort of negative about it and just saying, that's it, we lost. But you'd want your manager in place for a big game. That is a massive game now, and I'm sorry to say it because it's true. But we're in that top four. We're in that top four race with Arsenal. We might not like it, but we are.
Yeah.
And if we lose to them, it's a big deal. And I personally want the new manager in there.
What do you think?
I have no idea what the process is, but did you get I got a press release off United earlier. Did you not get it?
I don't know. I've not looked if we've had any.
So there was a line at the end.
Oh yeah, I've got it here. Sorry, I've got it here in the.
Which says Michael Carrick will remain in charge of first team until Ralph's work visa is finalised. That tells me he's not here till after Thursday at least. By the sounds of things.
I don't think it will be. He's got to last.
Yeah, this is what we were saying. That's on the official statement, isn't it? So yeah, they wouldn't put that out there if they were confident it would be.
They would have said he's here Thursday. Let's have it.
Yeah.
They'd have made a massive deal of it.
Do you think that's a problem, or do you think actually maybe just sticking with a bit more consistency? Carrick's not lost a game yet. Looked all right against Chelsea. It might not be the worst thing in the world to sort of play this more difficult game under a style they're more capable of doing.
I just don't want us to go into this Arsenal game playing it safe, not just like tactically but mentally as well. Like, Carrick's like, we don't lose this, it's all right. You want to win that. We've lost to City and Liverpool. I think the last 2 league games at Old Trafford.
The trifecta of
do you know what I mean? Like, let's go for it. This is face facts, yeah. I know Arsenal do relatively well, but
Fuck that.
they're not like that good.
No.
Like, look at the times they played big teams, they've struggled. They got, I know
Not
we've
only
not.
that, I love how fucking pissed that tripod is, by the way.
Yeah.
Not only this, the Arsenal are playing well, but Ramsdale is having a worldie week in, week out.
No,
which
don't
is
give me
it?
that. Don't give me
Which
that.
is
Have
it?
you seen some of those saves that are worldies?
Honestly, I've never
He
seen
literally
a goalie.
moves out of the way of the
dive.
ball and then
Doesn't he
dives
dive?
towards it.
Yeah.
Stand there and go like that.
There's like one that's like literally down the middle of the goal, and I'm seeing like, is he even human?
Yeah.
What? Because he saved the
It's
shot
like
that's straight at
a
him.
foot in from the
Yeah.
centre of the
Snooker, I don't
goal.
know.
Yeah. yeah.
You got to remember, they're coming from a fucking
They've not
position
had a
of
decent
no
goalie
fucking-
since 1997.
One of the worst things I saw as well was when Martinelli scored, Green would step outside. What?
Yeah.
Are you actually kidding me?
Do you know what your problem is?
Go on.
You're looking for Arsenal fans online.
I'm not. They just appear. They're like rats. You just can't get rid of him. Abhinav Verma says, if losing captaincy is a blow to you, then maybe you shouldn't get the captaincy in the first place.
Well,
Ronaldo or Matic is captains for me. I'm
That's like
sorry,
saying,
but if Brian
your house
Robson lost...
burning down is a problem, maybe you shouldn't have had a house in the first place.
If Brian Robson lost the captaincy, it'd affect him. He'd be gutted.
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't happen, but
It's a big-
it would.
it's
It'd
a
be a
big
blow
thing.
to him.
Well, yeah, he'd be really confused.
He probably would be like, hang on a minute. Well, that's like the straight. That would be the worst thing Ron Atkinson ever did.
If it destroys your career, maybe then maybe you shouldn't have had it. But it's going to be a blow to anyone who gets the captaincy stripped from them.
Up until that time, anyway.
Glad you compared that, not me.
I didn't even hear that. What did you say?
Losing, if Ron Atkinson had a strip Brian Robson and the captain's armband, it would have been the worst thing he ever did.
Oh, really?
Up until that
that's-
time,
and
I
that's
hasten
saying
to add a
something.
disclaimer there, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whilst he was a manager.
Fucking hell. I mean, even while he was manager, Jay. His five-a-side selection process was
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
sorry. Actually, I forgot about that. If
You might have to tell people what it is. I don't think
Right.
those words can come
Let
out
me.
my mouth.
I can't. I will never say. When I read that in my head,
To give
I
some a bit
censored
more
it.
sort of context to
Yeah.
what's going on.
He had a way of separating the players, Joe.
When
for
what
training.
Brian Robson, what Atkinson used to do at United is he used to have five-a-sides. He just didn't do proper like he does and Rangnick and all them lot with all this.
Don't
tactics
put them in the same
nonsense.
sentence.
We're in the same
Well,
sentence.
look at him. He's
Fucking hell, Jay.
getting his spreadsheets out in the middle of this.
Spread cheeks. What?
Different.
Oh, sorry.
He's not in the army anymore.
He's actually sat on a Kerr mode now. Just pulling straight into a hole.
He used to get. He used to be like just basic run around the pitch for 10 minutes and then let's do five-a-sides.
2 hours.
And he plays
What are
like
you
the
laughing
teacher.
at?
Are
he
you saying
says-
he never won a league title?
No,
Yeah,
and
we
he
did
used
win
to-
the cup though.
Yeah, he used to play in the five-a-sides, and he used to split them based on the colours of your skin, basically. There's
not how he said it though, was
polite
it?
way to say it. He used to say, right, we'll have the somethings against us lot,
No.
basically.
Yes.
And I'll let you Google it. And the mad thing about this is, Paul McGrath tells this story, and he's told it in one of his articles or his books and everything, and he tells it with almost like a reverence, almost like
Back to the good old
yes,
days.
like, oh, and I remember when Ron used to pick the teams and he used to say, and I'd be like, what? What? Yeah, so you're right. As a manager, he did a lot worse. I forgot about that. Forgive me. Joe Duck, welcome to the academy. Thanks for your support as always. And you'll be in the
I really want to make
hat.
a joke, bro. Get
no,
so
God,
taken
no.
out.
don't.
We've spoken. Yeah, I tell you what, make it to us off camera, out of the building.
On your special etcher sketch that we shake as soon as you've written it. Shake that before anyone sees that.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the consultancy and all that as well, Steve. What do you make of that? Because for me, like this thing you said there, it could take 8 weeks for him to get this team ready, and
I think
that's
it'll take a bit longer over
bit
Christmas.
longer. He's only got what 24 weeks, I think it is. So it's not like pulling that one out. So he's not got loads of time. This season, I'm not saying we give up on this season, but the effects of Rangnick might not be this season. It might be longer term with his consultancy and all that.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that? Do you think that's going to work? What's your take on that?
Rio's take was that this is his audition for the job. He doesn't think that this is going to be.
Do you know what this for, isn't it?
And I said, well, when we giving it to him before you start putting paper on there and tell him to write whatever number he wants.
Give him the contract. We beat Arsenal 3-0.
The moment he says,
Rangnick's
you're
at the
not
wheel.
going to thank me for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think he might have something in that it might be his audition. Because let's be honest, if we was waiting for United to announce an actual manager, we might be waiting a while. So, they might have gone, well, we'll see how it goes.
Do you think he wants it to be? Do you think he wants to be the long-term manager?
I don't know. Rio seemed to, his take on it was he thinks that's what he'll be going in thinking. This ain't going to be a 6-month thing. I'm going to be a long-term, I'll show him. When he might be right.
I mean, with all due respect to Ralf Rangnick, him as a sort of coming in to steady the ship and to implement something and to oversee things kind of makes sense to me. him getting the United manager's job doesn't.
Is he actually not
And,
better?
I know he's
as,
got like
as
What if he wins
manager.
like 13 games on the bounce though?
Well, we've done.
beat-
Yeah. If he beats Paris
But
away
is he
after
not
a 2-0
actually
home
better
loss,
at that
then he
anyway?
can have it.
What?
Is he not better as a director of football than a manager?
I think he's a better director of football, yeah. But I think by the sort of like murmurings of some like pretty connected journalists, it looked like you've got Murta as your football director, you've got Carrick as your technical director.
Where's Fletcher fit into all this?
Sorry.
Oh, right,
Fletcher
sorry. Fletcher,
as your,
yeah. And then
technical director,
Carrick is your
apologies.
assistant or whatever.
Yeah, Carrick as assistant or something or other.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Assistant
Phelan's
to
doing.
the interim manager.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Correct. And then there might be a spot for a consultant sporting director in Rangnick. And
I love how like 8 months ago we didn't have any of these,
Now we've got
and now
three.
we've got a stupid amount.
Yeah.
It is getting a little bit like.
now we have to get a minibus to take them to
Yeah.
the games. Here's our directors of footballs. So is it a good thing? Shit, maybe. This club needed modernising so much. Literally, Fergie was running it like it was still 1987, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. He was just so capable and had such bandwidth and was so in control of everything that was going on. He was the sporting director. He was doing the 10 and 5 year planning.
He was going to people's houses of the players we wanted to sign and be like, "You playing for Man United?"
Literally,
How has he got the time to do that ever?
and not only that, he's in at 6 a.m. and he's watching the youth team. Like,
And he's taking phone calls from like the manager at Witherspoons. He's saying like, I saw Ryan Giggs in here last night, and he's like, right, thanks for that.
Noted.
Yeah.
and then
It's like
literally,
info@manunited.co.uk goes to Fergie's computer. Like, why have you got just like the
Oh, no,
number?
he never got email.
Oh, did he not?
No, all his emails got printed out for him. And he
that.
read them.
A lad I know, Hugh Ferris, who used to work for 5 Live and he works with him at Key, he used to do like reporting for Key 103, and he said Fergie pulled him at the office once because he was driving down the Mancunian Way, and Hugh Ferris used to do stuff for Man City, and he saw him on a City poster. So he pulled him in the office and said, "What you doing on City posters?" And he was like, "Well, I'm freelance. I do different jobs." He said, "You didn't fucking come in here again. You carry on doing that."
Really? Just if you were on a poster for another club, you can fuck that off.
Like that's the sort of control and all the detail he's got. Like, how do you
Not
find
only
the time for that and the
Are
energy?
you, are you a manager that's just been appointed at Shrewsbury? You have to this is what you mean when you say he was the godfather of football in England. He had to give you you have to come and kiss the ring. Give a favour to them.
massively.
Like, do you want anyone on loan? I might ask you to do something one day that you might not be able to refuse. Like, this is what he was all about. He was
modern.
into everything. Yeah, and realistically, that needs 11 people to do all the shit he was doing. Yeah. And that's why he was the greatest of all time.
Especially, I suppose, once you factor in the fact of how much more micro the world of tactics and coaching is now than it was in 1986 or 2013 to a lesser degree. But obviously, Fergie was, he got his coaching to do that. The time of coming up with these plans and that sort of thing. If you're a head coach and you are coaching like Tuchel is coaching, Klopp is coaching, it just takes more time to do these things now. So we do need more people, but it does seem a little bit as though we've got like we've got this perfect setup, and now just to get Rangnick in as well.
Fletcher's a full novice.
Yeah.
Murta was involved as United's head of youth development, I believe, for some time.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, he was there when Chucky was there.
Yeah, and I know there's some people that have got different opinions of the guy.
That you're being very polite now, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm being
Well, that seems to be
extremely
the case with pretty much every CEO, director of football, whatever.
true.
Everyone seems to. Some people think they're a knob. Some people think.
No,
they're
that's
good.
fair comment.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe Nicky Butt's one of those people. I think if you looked at what both of them have done, none of them have really had that sort of implementation of a Europe worldwide scouting network looking for players of a specific sort of thing. The new analysis aren't fully doing all their jobs yet. Fletcher and Murta are only really just getting their teeth into the job a little bit. We know that the summer window was still conducted by Judge and Woodward. So the fact that there's been a real slow rollout of what they're allowed to do, I believe they were both heavily involved in appointing Rangnick, which is
That's
good,
what
I guess.
was it.
Yeah.
Laurie Whitwell, wasn't it? Who was saying that.
Yeah.
Murta was the one who was pushing for Rangnick.
He went and visited him, didn't he, a couple of years
Yeah,
ago?
that's what he said, yeah. 2019, I think
so
it was.
Like that.
I think when you look at the amount of stuff that Fletcher and Murta might have their ideas, but they're lacking experience. Rangnick's got 40 years of club building under his belt. I think the job that he did with Hoffenheim, sensational, and the job that he did with Leipzig with a bit of money behind him. There was some money there a little bit with Hoffenheim, and I think Schalke were also really heavily backed. But if you look at Schalke's time, who were Schalke at the end of the day? And he got them to a Champions League semi. He took Leipzig from the 4th tier of football. I said this the other day. If Eddie Howe had taken Bournemouth from where they were, it was impressive that he got them into the Premier League and kept them in the Premier League as long as he did. But imagine he'd have kicked on, come top 4, and took Bournemouth to a Champions League semi-final. That's literally what Rangnick did with Leipzig. So, I has he won anything? No, Paul Merson, he's fucking not. But at the end of the day, what he's achieved is comparable. And Bayern Munich have just appointed a manager with a less than 50% record in Nagelsmann, who hadn't won a damn thing, and now's got an 80% win rate. Yeah. Of course you want to appoint people with a winning track record, but guess what? Louis van Gaal was exactly that. Jose was exactly that. I'm not saying let's just appoint someone with a losing record.
No.
But no, it isn't the be-all and end-all. No one guarantees success.
And also, look at the clubs you've managed. Pep isn't going to have a 40% win rate because he's only ever managed the best team in the country he moved to. They were already the best team before he went to him.
Yeah.
And then you keep that going. Obviously, he's still an incredible manager, one of the best ever. But he's never going to have a 50% win rate because you start with Barca, then Bayern, then City. You don't lose games with those teams.
No.
And Zidane, same thing. But there are a lot of managers who, you're managing Ulm, Hoffenheim, Schalke. And I know he wasn't managing.
Hanover,
he did manage Leipzig
like that,
But you're not going to have a 70% win rate because that is impossible with those teams. So. Yeah, it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all. It's just wait and see.
Getting some of the super chats quite a lot. Bears says, I think Pogba is going to play a lot less than someone like Ronaldo under Ralf. He leave now, and I'm happy if he will. Think we will be better overall. Just quickly, Pogba, do you think he's going to have any opinion on whether Pogba's going to be an important part of the Rangnick even revolution?
What I've said all season, and it's getting to the point where I'd have made the decision for him now. And I said, before the start of December, I'm not getting into January where you can actually start talking to people. I want to know. I want to know one way or another. You sign in, sound, sign it, and let's move forward. You're not signing it, sound, don't sign it, fuck off, right in the reserves.
Yeah. It's like you were saying on the live, wasn't it? He's had 4.5 years, whatever. Was it 2016, 5.5 years.
Just thinking about it.
It's ridiculous, to say now, I'm still pondering it.
There's the article in the Mirror today saying Paul Pogba close to United.
Enthused.
U-turn?
Yeah.
What U-turn? You've had 5 years to make this decision, and one new manager now all of a sudden, changed everything.
Ian O'Brien, welcome to the Academy.
Yes,
Don't forget you're in with a shout of winning some prizes. Robin Ferguson, welcome to the Academy as well. Yes. Abidam Verma says, do you think it's a coincidence that whenever Poch gets linked to us, we start playing really well? Also, take back my Maguire comment.
I wonder if he's going to be one of them managers or there's the girl at school that you fancy, but she had a boyfriend when you were single and then you had a girlfriend when she was single. Do you think we're just never going to get with Poch? We obviously fancy each other. Poch fancies United fancies Poch. We all know that. It's like the most open secret. But we're never looking for a manager when he's out of work and he's never out of work.
I hope we don't even fuck him while we're married. How about that?
Really? That's upsetting.
Fuck him.
Was there not an element, though, of...
I still think we're getting in.
If Poch should have wanted the job when Ollie got it, he could have had it.
Yeah, but he just got he was doing big things with Tottenham.
That's what I mean, though. Yeah. He could have quit Tottenham and come to United.
Oh, yeah.
It was within the realms of possibility. He could have said, right, sorry, Levy, I'm off. United would have snapped him up because he's obviously a bit of a favourite.
I still think he's one of the top 3 candidates for the job.
No, I 100%. I agree with what you're saying. I just feel like that was his chance there. And all right, he might get another one in a couple of years, but a lot of it might depend on whether Rangnick likes him.
Or Rodgers, I'd get a Poch tattoo.
Yeah.
Really?
There you go.
I mean, it's why, though? Why is it, why is it between the guy that came third in a 2-horse race and the ex-Liverpool manager who
second in
threw away the league? Yeah, it's just come on. This is so sad. Play Desposito says, what do you think the chances are that Rangnick gets an outside shout that's more... Outside shout?
There's a Rangnick shit in the woods.
That's more suited to his style than the names mentioned before in Marco Rose?
I think that chance has gone up almost infinitely since Rangnick's coming as interim. Yeah. I think before they would have just wanted Klopp or Rodgers and, Rangnick's available.
I think whatever Rangnick thinks is going to hold a lot of weight.
Yeah, I do. I think it might be Ten Hag. If I was betting, I would still say Poch.
I still think Ten Hag's in the mix, but I also wouldn't be mental. I don't know if I'd like it, to be honest, but I can almost see it, where he's like, what about Ralph Hasenhüttl?
Yeah.
Mate, imagine. I don't ever mention Wurzel down here as well. Welcome to the first team. Carragher versus Rio, as it's sound out. Rio.
I'm trying to get him in here.
What do you reckon?
So we can do our bit in here.
Yes.
So what's happened? I did a video on it this morning.
Rio called Jamie Carragher out.
Have you been starting trouble again, you? This is like the Phil Jones thing all over again.
No, this is fully on in Rio. This for a
'cause
change.
he,
For a change, because
last time it was you, wasn't it?
So what did Rio say then?
So Rio said, "Did you see the thing with Keno and Carragher last night? Obviously, they was arguing whether Ronaldo was a mistake, and he goes, I can't listen to Carragher when it comes to when he starts talking about what it takes to win the league. He goes, when Carragher starts talking about win the league, I have to mute it. He's like, what do you know about winning the league? He's like, you go and sit in the corner and shut up.
And then
He proper like snap though, didn't he, Jamie Carragher? It's like it was a bit like.
Read out what
that's
Carragher
literally
said.
what he does.
Carragher went, not talking titles, but the deal for Ronaldo to Man United, which you arranged, and then eyes and laughing emoji. No Premier League for me, but skylight my opinions. No trophies in your career without Fergie. And when you stopped winning Premier League at United, you tried to move to Chelsea. So please stop giving it the big United fan one. # Ollie's at the wheel. So
What I will say
So
is,
bitter, isn't he?
yeah, I mean he's
he
not.
is better. But what I will say is,
Go on.
Rio had to go first. Like when
He
you said
started
this, like,
it. Is that
biting
it?
thing,
Yeah.
Rio was the one that started it, and I'm obviously on Rio's side because
Yeah.
it's Rio. But I do sort of think, Jamie Carragher a bit, but
I just feel like when you reply with like these little essays, and I'm not just saying it. I actually like Jamie Carragher. No, I'm not going to pelts for that. I've done some stuff.
I think a lot of people do, to be honest.
Do you know what I mean? You had a good laugh of him, didn't you?
Yeah, he loves
some
you.
Nice bit of back and forth. Do you know
Literally,
what I
we
mean?
was doing that thing with Gary Neville, Joe, talking about the independent football fan.
Oh yeah, I was
review
there.
Thing,
It was outside Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we come on, and fucking Carragher's like, hey, hope it's fucking Russell Crowe. So I was like, honestly, we still doing that?
Really? From all those years ago, you still
like
remember the same joke?
6 months ago.
We'll get you in here. Don't you worry about that.
So yeah, it was like he's just said a little bit like it's like when you're doing a bit too much. Do you know what I mean? If you just had one
I'm
line,
not bothered, but
if you just had one
You know
line,
what I'm saying
and
about,
also
like, you try to go Chelsea when you finished.
no trophies in your career without Fergie. He played for Fergie for like 90% of his career, didn't he? Like he's like at United for like 12 years. So that's not really,
Talk to me about the other bit of your career where you weren't there for 12 years winning everything.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just but to fair play,
you
really,
were
because you've got him on the channel, you know.
Yeah, he's on Monday.
it's disgusting. I reckon that was an inside job. I reckon Rio texted Carragher saying, I'm going to have a go at you. And he said, I'll have a go back and everyone will be
Joe,
excited.
the puppeteer is here. Alex Baguli of Stretford Paddock.
Why?
Go on.
Because literally in the middle of all this, like Alex went, why are they fucking about on Twitter? Tell them to come on the podcast and make it like a bit of content out of it. So I literally posted in our group, instead of doing 1K likes, why don't we get the silly Scouse knobber on the podcast and do 500,000 views instead?
Capitalism at its disgusting best.
That is just filthy capitalism. But it's obviously worked.
Right, should we call it a day there? Very
Yes,
good
should we
podcast today. Enjoyed that.
Should we do that?
If you aren't a member already, hit the join button. The link is also in the comments. Hit the join button. You get loads of extra stuff. You get extra content. You get a discount on the merch. You get, most importantly, a free entry. Or say free entry. You get entry into our 12 days of Paddock. Get the PlayStation on the desk, Jay.
Sorry.
It's heavy, that, isn't it? PlayStation 5. That's actually it. It's in this box. So let's not drop
It
it.
is. That's why it was so heavy.
The main put the single on because otherwise it's mental. My face with that bauble on. PS5, and there's also 11 other gifts that we're giving away from the 26th of December all the way to the 6th of January. The 12 days of Paddock.
It's not what
you are free. You have an entry to every single one of those if you become a member. Click the join button, join the academy, join the first team, and you get entry. You might win a PlayStation 5. Every single member is entered automatically. Look at this little dongle here. Look at that fella. Right. Thank you, Steve, for coming on. Thank you, Jay. You two are laughing at something. It's these two. Here's what these two do. Toward the end of every video, they go into their look at this, but we can't tell people mode, and it's despicable. Every text I get, I will read out on air, and that is my... I'll read one now.
I think we're in trouble with HR if I read this out.
And I am HR, so put
That
that
says
away.
piss off, and it's from Dad. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much for joining us. Jesus Christ. Okay. We'll see you in a bit. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.